Radioscope, the National Science Magazine program.
Welcome to yet another edition of the National Science Magazine, Radioscope. Science, as we commonly know, is the study of and knowledge about the physical, chemical and biological world and the things that occur in it. Science involves a pursuit of knowledge covering general truths or the operations of fundamental laws of events occurring in nature. India has been making a mark in different fields of science. Our scientists, in their relentless pursuit of knowledge, have gone into vast and varied realms and have helped better the community and make India live up to its age-old tradition of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam.
We start our program with a fond remembrance of the father of Indian Green Revolution, Professor M.S. Swaminathan, eminent scientist who revolutionized agricultural science. Professor Swaminathan was also an institution builder, having to his credit many centers where a range of research takes place. His contributions will continue to inspire and guide us in the path of agricultural innovation and sustainability.
Talking of research and innovation, how can one not speak about the footprints India is leaving in space technology? October 4th to October 10th was World Space Week. The theme this year being Space and Entrepreneurship. Now this theme is chosen by World Space Week Association Board of Directors to celebrate the achievements of space science and technology. As we know very well, India is making giant strides in space science. So we have in our studios Dr. Nilesh Desai, Director, Space Applications Center, ISRO, Ahmedabad. After the super success of the lunar mission Chandrayaan-3, the very successful launch of India's solar project Aditya L1, we all are waiting with bated breath for the manned space flight. So congratulations to you, sir, on the stupendous feats that you and all other ISRO scientists are achieving. Please tell us something about Gaganyan and where do we stand?
Thank you for your compliments on the success of Chandrayaan-3. Now, after Chandrayaan-3, we have already initiated the Aditya L1 mission, as you are well aware, and now ISRO is gearing up for the next important milestone related to Gaganyan project. We are going to have some test flights related to that, and that we are initiating with we call it test vehicle D1. Its launch will be happening this month or early next month, and that will be the first milestone.
Why do we need so many test flights?
Yeah, as you are well aware, ISRO has been a technology and engineering centric organization. So till now we have achieved many technological feats. But this time, as far as Gaganyan is concerned, the main challenge is the human safety. And we have to move from technology centric organization to a human centric organization. So where the safety of the human being, who is being taken into the space, is paramount importance. We have to do human rating of all the systems which we use in this Gaganyan project. So that includes the vehicle, that is the launch vehicle, as well as the crew module, as well as the orbital modules. So everything put together needs to be qualified for human safety aspects. And that is the real challenge as far as this Gaganyan project is concerned, because we have to not only take man in the space, but we have to bring him back safely onto the earth. On Indian soil. So
could you just elaborate on how this factor is being taken care of and what kind of new technologies are being developed?
To achieve these human safety related aspects, so it consists of first the integrated air drop test, then pad abort test, then test vehicle testing for crew escape systems, because if any emergency happens in space, we have to safely take out the crew and land them safely anywhere in the world or on the Indian soil. So these are the major development flights which we will be carrying out, and this will be followed by 3 unmanned flights. So that is, we call it GX, G1 and G2 flights, and that will be followed by the final manned flight, which is H1 flight. So this is how the program has been right now chalked out, and we are all on the road to achieve all these milestones one by one.
Yes, I'm sure.
In that direction, first test flight will be happening this month, and where we will be having a testing of the crew escape system from a height of 17 kilometers.
So good luck with that, and of course we know that ISRO is definitely going to succeed. What is the role of Space Application Center in developing these technologies?
As you are well aware, this is a highly technology-centric project. SAC, that is Space Application Center, located in Ahmedabad. It will be carrying out multiple tasks for this particular Gaganyan project. The important one are the crew cabin system. So whatever is required to be there in the room or the cabin in which the astronauts will be sitting. So all the important subsystem, whether it is related to cabin lighting or the environment monitoring system in the cabin or the communication system or the display system which is there available for the crew members. So all these things are being developed at Space Application Center. And then one of the major element of this Gaganyan project is that we have to ensure 100% communication all the time. So like a mother doesn't leave her child, and for that whatever is required, so all this communication system, whether it is part of the crew module or the service module, it is being developed at Space Application Center. And to achieve this 100% communication, we have to do coordination with various world space agencies, as well as we have to launch 2 more satellites in the geostationary orbits. So all these systems, communication system in these 2 satellites are also being built by Space Application Center. So that way Space Application Center has a very important role to play in this Gaganyan project.
Talking about the crew that will be manning this Gaganyan project, how has this crew been identified? Like, what criteria has been kept in mind to select them? What is the nodal training agency? ISRO is training them?
ISRO doesn't have the wherewithal to train as far as the biological or the human physical aspects. And obviously, as all of us are well aware, military people are the right people for such missions.
Yes,
so considering that some of the Air Force personnel have been identified to undergo this initial training in Russia. We have trained almost multiple such astronauts, and out of that 4 astronauts have been now selected for the final missions. And they have been are now part of ISRO. Earlier they were part of Indian Air Force, and they are part of ISRO, and they are undergoing, apart from the physical and the biological training which they have undergone in Russia, where the various types of simulators are available to simulate the environment which we face in space. We have chosen Russia as our partner as far as this crew training is concerned. Now they are back in Bangalore, and there we have set up an astronaut training facility. Right. Where they are now undergoing different other type of training, where the crew cabin which we are building for this mission, to get familiarized with the various facilities available in the crew cabin. Crew training simulator that has been developed by Space Application Center, so that has been handed over to this astronautical training facility. So there they are undergoing this type of different practical trainings, followed by some of the theoretical training also, to understand the various aspects related to avionics as well as aerospace. We also have a tie-up with Indian Institute of Science, where they will again undergo various such training related to the theoretical aspect of the systems which are going to be used for this mission. So all in all, the astronaut training is well underway, and the astronauts are getting trained from all angles, whether it is physical, biological, or psychological, as well as theoretical, as well as the practical aspects of living in space.
Excellent. So when can we expect India to offer space tourism? Now this is in light of this year's Space Week theme, Space and Entrepreneurship, which underscores the growing significance of commercial space industry.
That will be our first goal also, once we master this technology related to launching a man in space and bringing him back safely on Indian soil. Next thing which will follow will be the Indian space station in the orbit, And then we'll be taking people for the suborbital flight, followed by further space tourism. And then man on moon, man on Mars, and all these things will become a real possibility in distant future.
ISRO being synonymous with success in space technology, just as sportspersons are bringing us laurels and the latest Asiads, how much have past successes helped in manned mission technology being developed for Gaganyan?
Since human safety will be paramount, so whatever we have achieved till now is more technology-centric things. These technologies will directly feed into the various activities which we'll be doing for Gaganyan. We have already mastered all these technologies, so that will directly feed into designing and developing these particular systems. But to make them human-rated, that will be the real challenge. The ergonomics, the housing of these systems and all this also has to be properly taken care of, so that when astronauts are in space, they are not getting hurt by any of these systems. So these are all the new things which we are learning, and we hope to master it within next couple of years before we are ready for the actual manned flight.
I'm sure India will. And ISRO is already very well known for being very economical with its projects. So how do you achieve that?
One is the rupee-dollar exchange rate itself affects our costing. And we have ample manpower available. So the overall wages are not that high. So in that sense, our missions are very frugal. And apart from that, we are all very passionate about the work which we do. We don't work the way other Western countries work. So that also helps in reducing the overall cost of the missions. And the major strength is our manpower, because we have a large pool of scientific manpower available in our country.
What would be your parting advice to our younger generation as far as opting for a career in ISRO is concerned, and to our entrepreneurs for participating in this journey under Atmanirbhar Bharat?
Under this Atmanirbhar Bharat program, government has initiated space reforms. We call it new space policy. And now government wants that private sector play a very important role as far as space activities is concerned. So that opens up a lot of scope for various student startups as well as the various activities by private sector. And that is my advice to new joins or the people who aspire to work for ISRO, that a lot of exciting possibilities are there as far as space is concerned, and lot more opportunities are going to come, and government is also going to facilitate in a big way. You can always come to ISRO and utilize all our facilities as well, and the policy of open data and open science is now being promoted by Government of India. So that will also help us to unlock the various potential which exist as far as space activities is concerned.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Nilesh Desai, for sparing your time and sharing such invaluable information on the very ambitious manned mission of ISRO, the Gaganyan.
That was Dr. Nilesh Desai, Director, Space Application Center, ISRO, Ahmedabad, shedding light on India's yet another space odyssey, Gaganyan.
Human mind has always found inspiration in occurrences of nature and made it possible to achieve it for personal consumption. Take, for example, the aeroplane, which was inspired by the flight of birds, thereby earning the sobriquet of a flying machine. However, the same man has had a profound impact on birds. A large number of species have gone extinct due to human causes. The 14th of this month was World Migratory Birds Day, which is celebrated on the second Saturday of October every year. We have with us Dr. Bakul Trivedi, President of the Bird Conservation Society of Gujarat, with us. Professionally an ophthalmologist, Dr. Bakul Trivedi and his team are doing yeoman's service to the cause of preserving birds. Welcome to the studio, Dr. Trivedi.
Thank you.
Please tell us why bird conservation is so important, especially talking about India. How do birds help ecology?
Nature, as you know, is a kind of web where every component is very important. And birds is an essential link between all these components. So it's very important that we save not only the birds but other elements of nature also. And birds being so vibrant, so visible, so attractive. People like to follow birds, they like to watch birds. The changes happening in their composition, changes happening in their number, and thereby knowing about our natural habitats and what is happening with the environment and ecological places.
So the theme for this year's World Migratory Bird Day is water and its importance for migratory birds.
Migratory birds, of course, they hold a very special place amongst the birds because they are the link, you can say intercontinental link. Their migration routes are very long, arduous, and because of that, if any changes are happening at their stopover places, that also we'll be able to know from the overall health of this community. At the same time, most of the migratory birds, they are water birds.
Okay.
You can say almost 70 to 80% of migratory birds which we receive in India, they are water birds. 15 to 20% of the bird species that we have in India, they are migratory birds. They are migrants. So this is the importance of migrants, and this is the importance of wetlands, because wetlands is their wintering quarters of these birds. When they come here, they come because there is a warm climate, and post-monsoon there is a lot of vegetation, there is a lot of availability of the food, fruits, berries, seeds are available for them.
Yes.
So they descend here. India is very fortunate to be placed on the some of the very important flyways of these birds. The health of this habitat, very important habitat. The wetlands are a very important habitat, and the health of this habitat will decide the health of the birds which are
and
which
thereby
are
affecting the
this.
ecology. Naturally, it must be a very fascinating exercise to keep a track of all these winged visitors. Talking about India, as you said, there are a lot of migratory visitors. So which major birds visit us, and what are the best seasons?
Mainly winters, but not necessarily all of them do the same kind of migration. There are horizontal migrations also. From India, they would go to East Africa, or East Africa they will come here. But the main purpose for migration is the security of food. They always move in search of food. So many birds of different groups, they visit here. Some of them are very large, like storks. Some of them are resident. For example, white stork, the black storks, they are migratory birds. Then we have cranes, which are migratory, spoonbills. Many variety of ducks, they are migratory. Many variety of waders. Waders are the birds of coast. These are the birds which come here mainly in winter, descend on different types of habitat, different types of wetlands. There are types and types of wetlands. Some of them are inland wetlands, some of them are coastal. And in that also there are many varieties, small, large, natural, artificial. When the artificial lakes and ponds, they are a good place for these birds to visit to.
While there are many bird conservation techniques, which in your opinion are most suitable for India?
Bird conservation is, it's a very broad term. Bird conservation includes awareness, to education, to take data from, to do research in the field, and so many things. So there are advances in each of these fields. In every field now we have so many gadgets available that can help us in getting better data of the behavior of the birds, different bird species. For example, there is eBird platform now available.
Okay.
Now eBird platform is where the bird watcher can upload his data on this platform. It is open for the public to get this data from if they want to. So much of data, real-time data available at any point of time about every species, different species. Over a period of time, you can know about what is happening with the population on a large scale. You can say a spatio-temporal graphics can be developed from this data collected. So you can have maps, you can have videos of what is happening with the flocks of the birds.
Oh, that's also fascinating and at the same time very important.
Very, very useful, because see, this data only will decide the importance of the place. This data only will be able to strengthen the activists, the groups which are working in to conservation, take their message to the authorities and get
the society
the things
at
done.
large.
Yes.
That was Dr. Bakul Trivedi, President of the Bird Conservation Society of Gujarat.
Medical science is making rapid progress each day. Some diseases that were once considered unsurmountable are now treatable. One such dreadful disease is cancer, the very name of which is enough to scare the bravest among us. However, nowadays advancements in medical science are making it increasingly easy to handle both for the patient and the doctor. We have Dr. Rushit Shah, oncologist, with us, who uses the latest technique of immunotherapy to treat cancer patients. What is immunotherapy and how is it used in cancer treatment?
We have different weapons. Those are chemotherapy, targeted therapy, hormone therapy, and the latest one is immunotherapy. So immunotherapy drugs are also one of the medicines only, but they act in a different way. They have a different mechanism of action, and currently it is used in most of the advanced cancers, like cancers which are in stage 3 and 4. But gradually the use of immunotherapy is expanding across all the subtypes and all the stages of cancer. So basically immunotherapy is not like other drugs which acts on its own, because immunotherapy has to work with our immune system. So that's how it integrates our immune system into the treatment of cancer. There is cancer cells, our immune system is there, and immunotherapy medicine is there. So usually our body has a mechanism that it prevents entry of any foreign objects into the body, whether it be a viral cell or a cancer cell. So our body has an innate immune system which works against those cancer cells. But what cancer does, it somehow expresses such targets or such molecules which inactivates our immune system. So there are some checkpoints in our immune system which are also beneficial for us, because it inactivates or suppresses our immune system for being hyperactive. So what immunotherapy does, it inhibits those inhibitors or those checkpoints. So by inhibiting the checkpoints, our immune system is kept in a very active state against the cancer so that it can work efficiently.
And cancer and immunotherapy, how are they related? Like, how does cancer immunotherapy work?
There are different forms of cancer immunotherapy, but the most common of that is checkpoint inhibitors. And as I explained, that there are some checkpoints to our normal immune system for being hyperactive. Because if our immune system becomes overactive, then it will create autoimmune diseases, like immune system working against our own body.
Yeah.
Right. In a scenario of cancer, those checkpoints needs to be inhibited because cancer inactivates this immune system. So when we give checkpoint inhibitors, the immune system is kept under active state. That takes care of cancer.
Can we say immunotherapy is effective in all types of cancers?
So there are actually multiple advantages of immunotherapy. One, it doesn't cause some side effects like chemotherapy. Such as hair loss, very much nausea or vomiting, fatigue or fall in the blood counts. Second advantage is, beauty of immunotherapy is that for some patients, it gives a prolonged response. Till now, if we say for most of the stage 3 and stage 4 cancers, the survival is not very much high. But with immunotherapy, there are certain very bad prognostic cancers who doesn't behave very well. So for that particular kind of cancers also, immunotherapy has prolonged the survival of patients, but in a limited subset.
prolonging the survival of the patient as well as improving the quality of life. Is that attainable through immunotherapy?
Yes, so quality of life is our main target in this kind of patients because they have already stage 4 cancer and we don't expect them to be cured most of the time. Here the quality of life matters. So that's where again immunotherapy plays a vital role because it doesn't affect that.
So that is one very big advantage of immunotherapy. So what type of cancers is this most suited for?
One of the first cancer that immunotherapy was used against was a malignant melanoma. It is a type of skin cancers. It is not very commonly seen in India. Other type of cancers in which we use immunotherapy frequently now are lung cancers, kidney cancers, head and neck cancers. Practically, use of immunotherapy has expanded in most of the cancers now.
What is the availability and cost of treatment like in India?
So good news is that currently all the immunotherapy medicines which are FDA approved, they are available in India. Excellent. And they are quite accessible. The only issue is cost because they are new molecules, they are patented, so cost is going to be high. So right now we are using immunotherapy in say limited subset of patients due to this issue
cost
only.
Factor.
But gradually the cost of medicines are also coming down and in future they will be accessible.
Oh yes, that's a very good news that it will be readily accessible to all kinds of patients across the country. So what are the future prospects of immunotherapy in your opinion?
As I told, currently we use most of the immunotherapy medicines in stage 3 and stage 4 cancers, and that's where any cancer medicines is approved first. But gradually as we move forward, the use of immunotherapy can be expanded in stage 1 and 2 cancer. In curative cancers, maybe say a surgery has been done for a breast cancer and we give chemotherapy for now. So for those patients also the use of immunotherapy can be expanded. And apart from treatment settings, in a preventive settings also, preventive immunotherapy is also under research and trials are ongoing. So that can be also be one of the possibilities.
Yes, that's a very promising scenario. Just one more question. Is there a limitation to using immunotherapy? Like can it be used on all kinds of patients like young children or old, or is there some limitation?
Actually, age is no bar. For immunotherapy, the functional capacity or the performance status is also not a bar, unlike chemotherapy, because we cannot give chemotherapy to a bedridden patient or patient who is not doing quite well. So that is again one of the advantage that it can be given in all the patient irrespective of the performance status. But yes, and in terms of indication and usage, there are some tests which can guide us. We do tests like PDL1 testing and MSI testing. There are certain molecular tests which have to be run on the biopsy block. And if that comes positive or negative, depending upon that, we can predict that immunotherapy is going to work well or not.
So we can safely say that immunotherapy is a wonderful tool in the hands of our medical oncologists in the treatment of cancer, which was once considered unsurmountable.
That was Dr. Rushit Shah, medical oncologist, giving an insight on immunotherapy in cancer.
With that, we come to the end of the October edition of our monthly science magazine, Radioscope. We will be back again next time with some more information from the scientific world. Until then, goodbye.
That was the National Science Magazine program Radioscope, produced and presented by Deepshikha Durgapal for Akashvani.
Radioscope, the National Science Magazine program.